All right, JHK here for the AllStar, and join me right now is bantamweight prospect Askar Askar. Thank you so much for the time, man. It's fight week. What are your traditions during this hectic few days?
My traditions are to focus on making weight and replenish and get ready to go to war. You know what I mean? Same as other fight week.
If you know, like are you expecting things? Are you expecting the unexpected usually in fight week, or are you like a machine? It's like everything day by day is the same.
Yeah, no. I go day by day, hour by hour, minute by minute, second by second. I try to live life in the moment, focus on. I get a lot of people that go, I can't wait for Friday, or I can't wait for this, or I can't. Like I'm just enjoying the moment as it goes. Trying to live in every moment that I'm in and focused on the now, and I know things will work out how they need to work out.
All right, let's talk about the matchup, man, against Leandro Gomes. Now, Leandro, what do you think of his skill set? What do you think of his trajectory in his career so far?
He's a tough dude. He's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. You know what I mean? He slings it on the feet. He's tough. He's Brazilian, so those guys are tough from out there. And I'm excited to be able to match up against them and see how our skill sets match with each other.
So, where have you done most of your camp for this fight coming up?
I actually just moved. I used to live in Chicago, Illinois, and I was doing my camp over there out in Chicago. But I just moved recently out to Colorado, and I'm doing my camp now in Factory X with Coach Mark, Yusuf Zalal, Adam Martinez, Chris Gutierrez, Jonathan Martinez, and them. So I got a whole new camp. I've been out here for about 3 months now, training at elevation, feeling great, and yeah, a whole different look, a whole different camp. So I feel like it's gonna be a whole different me this Friday.
Was the transition pretty simple, pretty easy?
I mean, for the most part, yeah, it was pretty easy. Just got to get here. We just got to have to get here and settle in. Find a place near the gym, find a place to do some work, make some money on the side while we're training, and then just figure out the training schedule and how we needed to go about it. Making sure I'm getting my running in because that's one of my important training methods. Especially being at elevation now, I feel like my conditioning is at a whole new level, so that helps a lot. But yeah, it was pretty comfortable to get settled in, and everybody was so nice and so welcoming. For us being new guys here. Me and my brother moved out here actually with one of my other training partners from Chicago, and it's been amazing to mesh with everybody.
Okay, so you moved out there with a few other people. It's not like you're about out there alone or anything like that.
Yeah, no, no. I took the boys. I took my one of my training partners, Alex Rago. He's an
Mhm.
amateur fighter at 25, and then my brother Motaz Oscar, and he's a pro 145er, and we got a place out here in Denver, and you know what I mean. It's like the fighter's house now.
Yeah, so many guys, man, are transitioning over to Factory X. Even the guys already in the UFC. What is it about Mark Montoya and the team out there?
Man, it's the atmosphere is so welcoming. The culture, it's so nice. Everybody's so cool. It feels like a family atmosphere. Everybody's focused and everybody's like-minded. That's the thing. High level and like-minded. It attracts each other. You know what I mean? You attract what you want to become, and that's what it is here. It's if you want to be a good fighter, you have to surround yourself with good fighters, and there's a lot of good fighters at Factory X.
So who has been giving you the best rounds throughout the 3 months?
Personally, the best rounds I've gotten this camp have been with Chris Gutierrez. You know what I mean? UFC bantamweight, he's a savage. And then I got a few rounds with Jonathan Martinez for his camp when he was out here. And obviously my brother Motaz, he's a 145 pounder and he's strong as an ox and as explosive as they come. And being able to deal with him makes me feel like I can deal with any bantamweight.
With so many guys in camp and while you're in camp, is there momentum there for you? Is there do you get to ride that momentum into your fight?
Very much so, very much so. That's my favorite thing about it. Back home I was a top dog in my gym, so I felt like it was camp was revolved around me, and when my camp was over, it was downtime, which isn't good sometimes. Here it's my buddy just fought, so I was in his camp. Chris just fought, Jonathan just fought, and then Yusuf Zalal's training 24/7, 365. That guy, so there's no easy rounds anytime with him. And then my brother has a fight coming up in December. So as soon as I'm done with my fight, I'm coming right back to camp. Staying busy. So that's one of my favorite things about being here, being surrounded by these guys that are all high level and ambitious about getting fights in.
Throughout the 3 months, man, do you feel like you've improved in one area more than any other areas?
Honestly, the biggest thing I feel like I improved, and it was the main thing. The main reason I wanted to move out here was the conditioning. I want to feel like I could go 10 rounds. You know what I mean? I wanted to feel like I could go 20 rounds without getting tired and being out here in elevation. Like my last opponent was he was from Colorado, which is kind of ironic that I ended up moving out here. But I felt like it's going to make a huge difference where you're training, especially in Colorado if you're training in what is it, New Mexico, or where it's a higher elevation too. So it makes a big difference when you go back to sea level.
In the last fight didn't go your way. What did you take from that and then kind of carry it into this camp to help you elevate yourself?
The biggest thing is stay in fight camp. Staying in fight camp, not taking a fight on 3 weeks, 4 weeks notice just because I needed to take a fight or because I want to fight. Because at the end of the day, I did this because I love fighting so much and I love competing. But that fight, I could have, I could have done more. I could have done more in camp. I could have pushed myself a little bit more, but I didn't have the tools. I didn't have the necessary training partners. Like I said, at the old gym, tell you the truth, I was being trained by a used car salesman. You know, and I joke about it, but it's the truth. The guy's a bum, and I hope he hears this and he sees this and he knows that he's a bum. But I had my time with him, and there was no training partners really there that were on my level. I was the highest level pro other than my brother. So I needed the different looks and a coach that knew what he was doing and had high level athletes in the UFC. And I got my buddy Colin England fighting this weekend, so me and him were able to do our camps together. I got about 6 or 7 of my buddies fighting on Sunday for Cage Fury out here in Colorado for Dana White looking for a fight. So I was able to do camp with all of them, and then a few guys fighting November 20th for Cage Fury too. So I was able to do camp with more than 12 people, And Coach Mark is the kind of coach that when you're in camp with a group of guys, he keeps you communicated. We've been in the group chat for the last couple of days and weeks, and you know what I mean, talking about how our weight's going, how our training is going, if we need to do this, how we're feeling, how everything's going. So just being able to be around that atmosphere of that competition and those training partners makes a huge difference. I feel like that was the biggest thing with my last one. I had nothing. It was me by myself trying to figure it out, and I went in there kind of like blind with no game plan. Here I feel like now I got a set game plan. I know what I need to be doing in there to get this win.
So to put it in simplified terms, you're more of a professional heading into this fight.
Literally, you can't say it better than that.
So that's what it feels like. So what type of performance, man, can we expect from you this weekend?
The same performances I've been putting on before I my last one. You know what I mean? I feel like I got the skill set, I got the tenacity, I got the professionalism. I had it, but I feel like I don't want to blame Corona or this or that, but it turned the world upside down. It shut down gyms. It stopped having people come into the gym and train. From when it started to now. So it's like it's been a grind. Even though I was able to fight once during that time, I ended up fighting main event for LFA, and I ended up getting a win. But I had to pull that from the bottom of my soul. You know what I mean? It was a lot of solo training and having to just dig deep. And I feel like that was how the last one was. And Justin was just a little too tough for me to just be able to do that. So now this time around, I feel like, just like you said, a more professional mindset, a more professional setting. Coming into this camp, and it's gonna show on Friday.
I think a lot of fighters, when they come back from such a long layoff because of the COVID and everything, it almost like they need that fight, to kind of like set them up for the next one. And I think you had that, and now you're ready for like this breakout performance in this one coming up, especially it's a co-main event, which helps you out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, I've always either main evented or co-main evented for LFA, so I love that. But yeah, I feel like it's going to be definitely a big difference this time around.
Now, in Kansas, I know they do open judging, and in Japan they do it, and Colorado recently they adopted it. They said they're going to use it next year. What are your thoughts on open judging? What is your take on it, and how do you think it will affect fights?
I like open judging, honestly. You know what I mean? It's kind of cool being finish the first round, second round, and just look over at the board, and you see that you won the round or lost the round. You need to push harder, or you could pick your spots of when to attack. Obviously, at the end of the day, you're in a fight and you're trying to finish the guy. You're trying to hit him in the face and put him out. So a lot of people be like, oh, it's gonna coast. No, it's like you could use your energy correctly. You don't go in there with just a mindset of I just need to fight. You go in there with a game plan of like I need to make sure I burst when I need to burst, and I try to take him out when he's tired and this and that. But I mean, though, if it is open judging, I like it. If it's not open judging, I'm fine with that too. You kind of, even when you're fighting, low-key as a fighter if you won or lost the round.
What is your outlook on 2022? Like, where you expect to be in your skills, in just competing?
My outlook, honestly, is consistency. Consistency. I want to fight like how I started out my career. I got 5 fights in 1 year. I just want to compete. That's what it is at the end of the day. I want to compete. I don't care if it's for LFA, if it's for the UFC, if it's for any other major promotion. I just want to compete. I want to keep competing. I want to be able to get paid off fighting. I want to make it. This is the life I live. You know what I mean? I'm out here living in Colorado, focused on training every day. I haven't seen my family for almost 3 months now, so I want to just make this worth it, stay consistent and just grind out fights. So starting with this Friday and then back on the grind as soon as I'm done and try to jack them up in 2020, and get myself back into the UFC.
Being away from family, has that been somewhat of a blessing in disguise?
I'm not lying, a little bit, because it keeps you away from bad food. It keeps you away from laziness. It keeps you away from the parties. Especially I'm Palestinian. And we turn up on when we have weddings, and it's been wedding season for us. Every Sunday's been a wedding. My mom and dad call me talking about, you need to come back to this one. Your cousin's getting married or this or that. So it's like me being here. I'm like, I can't. I have a fight. I'm fully focused. I can't waste time. On a Sunday night, and if I was back home in Chicago, I'd be at a wedding. A Sunday night in Colorado, I'm hitting a 6-mile jog outside. You know what I mean? On a Saturday night, I'm watching the fights in Chicago. And that's the other crazy thing. Saturday in Chicago, when the fights happen, they don't end until midnight. In Colorado, they end at like 9:30, 10. So by the time the fights are over and your heart's burning from watching all that crazy action, you just hit the road. You go hit the gym. You know what I mean? Do a little extra work from the inspiration. In Chicago, you couldn't do that because by the time the fights were over, it's time to go to bed.
For sure. Well, November 12th, man, LFA 118. You're definitely not having a used car salesman in your corner this time around. Let's see what you can do. Askar, thank you so much for the time.
My man, thank you so much, Jay.